Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today from wherever you are. I've got a little slow flow for us today, and physically we're going to focus around the hips, the groin, a little bit through the side body and the shapes that we make with our bodies today. We're also going to focus a little bit on emotions and feeling them in a somatic way. So tuning in with the body to figure out what's going on inside the heart and the mind. So if you're ready, roll out your mat or find a soft bit of ground somewhere for you to practice on. And then we're going to start lying down today. So you can come to find a comfortable position, somewhere lying flat on your back, letting the spine come into contact with the earth, and really take your time getting there, getting set up. The legs can be out long to the earth in front of you, or if there's any pinching, any issues going on in the lower back, a nice option might be to bring the soles of the feet to plant down and then let the knees collapse into one another. And then let's all bring both palms to rest onto the lower belly here. Make a little bit of space for your neck, shoulders away from the ears. If it feels comfortable and safe for you to do so, start to let the eyes close. And then we'll begin with a big grounding breath, letting that come in through the nose. And then exhale, let it go through the mouth. Starting to allow your energy to settle. Arriving to your mat, to your body, to your practice today. And we can take a moment or two first to just ground ourselves in our surroundings. Notice feeling of the ground beneath you. The temperature of the air above you, any movement, gentle breeze, the feeling of the clothing you're wearing against your body. And perhaps any sounds that you hear. And we're allowing the physical senses to guide us through finding a little bit of presence at the start of our practice here. Beginning to arrive to this moment, letting everything else fall away. And then we can start to bring the awareness to your breath, tracing its journey for a few rounds as it comes and goes through the body. And with the palms resting on the lower belly, perhaps you focus the awareness here. And just watch for movement, a rise and fall, an expansion, and then a contraction. And then we can start to let that breath deepen a little. So that those inhales really travel down deep into your lower belly. And you can start to let the exhales bring with them a kind of release. So with each breath, the body grows a little heavier. Any tension that you don't need to hold on to anymore can be let go into the ground. And now with that deep breath, keeping the awareness into the space underneath your palms, I want you to start intentionally sending the breath there. So with each inhale, feeling that the palms lift, and each exhale, they slowly melt down. Letting the contact between belly and palms guide you into a deeper breath, filling up the whole torso. Take one more deep breath there. And then from here, we'll walk the palms up a little higher so that they rest onto the left and right outside edges of your ribs. So kind of underneath the armpits, the elbows can rest on the mat. And then start sending your breath there. This time feeling as if there's this outward lateral expansion through the rib cage with each breath that you take. Really puffing the chest out side to side into that space underneath your palms. Take one more deep breath like this. And this time, walk the fingertips higher still, this time to rest onto the collarbones, the space right at the very top of your chest. And same again, breathe into that space under your palms, right to the top of the chest. See if you can make them move. How much can you make them move? How deep can you make this breath? Take one more big breath here. And then we'll release the palms somewhere natural back onto the torso, either side. Returning to a natural breath. Just watching any shifts in energy, any changes. Now that we've filled the whole body from top to toe with air, prana, our life force. Now, I'd like us to take one more moment here in this restful position. It's time to just start to take your physical presence in. So observing the physical body and noticing how it feels as you arrive to your mat, your practice. And seeing if we can do this without analysis, maybe without even attaching words to the feelings that you find, just simply holding them in your awareness, all the way from top to toe. Observing with curiosity, feeling into your body. And I'd like us to turn this awareness now to the energetic body. So noticing for any emotion, feeling. And again, can you do this without attaching any words to what you find, without analysis? Just simply noticing. Whatever it might be, this physical manifestation of emotions. A knot somewhere in the torso, the throat, tension, the softness. Just noticing without attempting to understand, to reason. Simply allowing yourself to feel. And now let's start to deepen that breath again. And this time invite a bit of movement back into the body with the breath. A wriggle or two, moving where your body wants you to. You might take a stretch. And then if they aren't there already, we're all going to bring the soles of the feet to plant down onto the mat. Line up with the mat's edges and let the knees point up to the sky. You can rest your palms wherever feels natural, perhaps onto the torso. And then we're going to just start finding a gentle sway of the knees from side to side. You can tune this in with the breath. using the inhale to pick the knees up. And then the exhale to let them fall to alternating sides. Observing those muscles around the hip joints as we start to wake them up. Notice how they're feeling, any tenderness, stiffness. Keep breathing into. And then the next time the knees fall over to the right, let's keep them there. Turn this into a twist. You can move that left knee to stack further on top of the right as you extend the left arm back behind you, maybe turning the gaze away from the knees if that's okay for your neck. But let's keep this twist nice and gentle to begin with. So maybe those knees staying a little bit further away from the torso. Take an extra breath. And then we'll come back through to center, pick the knees up once again, plant the feet, couple more sways. Next time the knees fall over to the left, allow them to land there, turn it into the twist. Stack the right knee on top of your left, release the right arm back behind you, maybe turn the head. Use the breath to broaden around the center of your body, around the lower back. To encourage some openness. Take an extra breath. And then from here, we're just simply going to turn the upper body to face to the left-hand side as well, so that you come to a fetal position, a breath or two here, in contact with the earth just a little longer. And then when you're ready, let's press that right palm down into the mat. And pick yourself all the way up, come to find a comfortable seated position. Now, you can sit in whatever seat is comfortable to you, cross-legged. I'm going to pick kneeling today. Let's bring the hands to rest onto the knees. Use a breath to ground us, to welcome us back upright again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to take 3 more deep breaths, but this time as you inhale, let's lift shoulders up towards the ears, really crunch through the neck. And then as you exhale, let it go through the mouth and let them drop. Thanks. 2 more of those. Inhale. Exhale, they drop. Really exaggerate that movement. 1 more, in through the nose. Exhale, they drop. Nice. Next inhale. Let's bring the hands behind us. Interlace the fingers, find a bind, draw the palms together. As you next inhale, let's draw the shoulder blades together, shine the chest forwards. Exhale, find a little forward fold. If you have the space, then that fist can lift a little. Take a breath here, ring out through the shoulders. Next inhale picks you back up. Find length through the upper body. And then as we exhale, we're going to move that fist over towards your left waist. A little stretch through the right shoulder and neck here. You can tilt the head a little bit in the direction of the fist. Drop that right shoulder. Your next inhale, you guide the bind of the hands back behind you in through center. And then exhale over to the opposite side, the right waist this time. Drop the shoulder. Maybe you tilt the head away from that. Breath. Inhale, let's return through center, fist away from you. Exhale, release, bring the hands to the knees. Nice. Now let's take some seated cat-cows from here. On your next inhale, shine the chest forwards, find an arch, look up. Exhale, tuck through your tailbone, round, gaze to navel. Same again, inhale. Just use the hands as leverage here. Feel like they're pulling back in space against the thighs. Exhale, round. Keep moving between this cat and cow position, allowing yourself to be guided by your own breath. Find some fluidity in the movement, allowing the body to move freely, to start warming up through the spine, maybe even closing down the eyes so that the awareness is fully with the way that your body is moving. Take one more. Beautiful. From here, we're going to bring the hands to plant down onto the mat. Top of the mat, they can be, come to find a tabletop, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Just a couple cat-cows here from your tabletop. Maybe this time even bring a little bit of creative, intuitive movement in to the way that you move your torso. Perhaps that's drawing circles. It could be a movement of the weight forwards and back, side to side. You could warm up into the wrists a little. We're really feeling into the body as we do this, breathing into the spaces that feel tighter and stiffer. Moving where your body calls you to. Let's take one more. And then we'll plant the hands down, spread the fingers. They're about as wide as your shoulders, feet hip width, tuck your toes. Lift the knees and the bum up and back, find a downwards facing dog. Now there can be some movement here in this first down dog. A little pedal out through the feet, a sway of the hips from side to side. Perhaps you're keeping the knees quite bent here so that you can really send the tailbone up. Finding this tilt of the top of your pelvis towards the tops of the thighs. So we're preserving that length through the upper body. Take an extra breath. And then keeping that movement fluid, a few spinal rolls on the inhale, come forwards with your chest through high plank. On the exhale, bend the knees, send the bum up and back. And again, inhale to ripple forwards. Exhale, bend the knees, send bum up and back. One more like that, inhale. Exhale, bum up and back. Back in our downward facing dog. Let's take one breath here. And then we'll let the knees come down to the mat, almost as wide as the mat's edges, toes come to touch, heel to bum, forehead down for a wide-legged child's pose. Few slow breaths here, letting the chest melt down, letting the hips press the muscles around the groin nice and open. Let's take an extra breath. And then as you inhale, spread fingers, tuck toes, lift your head. And then we lift the knees up and back on the exhale, find downwards facing dog. Nice. On your next inhale, let's sweep the right leg up to the sky, come through your three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring the shin towards the top of the mat, behind the wrist. So it's kind of like we're setting up for a pigeon. We're going to drop the bum, but find a 90-90 stag position with the legs. Now from here, let's bring the fingertips down to the mat in front of that right shin. I'm going to take a few flowing up and down movements with the chest. As you exhale, dropping it forwards over the right knee, right shin. And then as you inhale, peel the chest up. Find a little back bend, upward dog movement with the upper body. As you exhale, let the head be heavy, drop the chest. Inhale, pick it back up. Keep moving between this up and down movement of the chest, maybe closing down the eyes again as we did in tabletop through those cat-cows. And just let your body move intuitively at a speed that feels good with a range of motion that feels good. Noticing how the upper body's position affects the feeling in the lower body. And then perhaps from here with the chest a bit closer to that front knee, you can start moving side to side with the chest as well. And finding some free flow with that movement. Perhaps still moving in time with the breath. Let's take one more inhale to pick up your chest. And then your next exhale will bring the chest down. Find a little forward fold, settle here. You can rest the forehead onto the backs of the palms. Maybe the head comes down and you outstretch the arms. And you can kind of choose the angle at which your chest is sitting. Perhaps it's more squarely over that front shin, or maybe it feels good to have a little bit more twist and send it over towards the top right-hand corner. Take one more deep breath. And then your inhale, you peel yourself all the way up. And this time we're going to pivot over to face more the center of the mat. Both hands come behind the hips. Let's lean back a little bit. And then start picking up the knees. And we're finding that same windscreen wiper motion, letting them drop from side to side. And your inhales, you can bring them through center. And the exhales, allow them to fall. Let's take one more. And then the next time the knees come up, let's let them fall over to the left. And we're finding ourselves in that same stag 90-90 position with your shins. Fingertips come in front of the left shin this time. And then we're finding that same movement with the upper body on the exhale. Let it drop. And the inhale, peel the chest up. Nice. And the same option is here to maybe start finding a bit more side to side motion with the chest as you lift and raise it. Maybe that's with the chest lowered, maybe at the top of the extension. Maybe you're even drawing circles with the upper body here. Maybe feeling into all those different parts of the left glute muscle around your left hip. Take another breath. And then we're melting the chest down, coming to settle. Perhaps the forehead rests onto the palms. And again, you have the option of which angle you would like the chest to rest in, directly over the knee, maybe a little bit further over to the left-hand side, so there's more of a twist. Feeling a little bit even through the hip flexor of the back leg. Take one more breath. Nice. And then use an inhale to pick yourself up. We're going to bring the hands behind the hips again, pick up the knees and take a few of those windshield wipes, letting the knees fall from side to side. Nice. Take one more. And then next time we come through center, we're going to make our way to a wide-legged forward fold. So let the legs go out long, nice and wide. There can be a little micro bend there, maybe with some props, cushions, blankets underneath the knees if you need the support for the backs of the legs. On an in-breath, grow tall with the upper body. And on the out breath, fold forwards, bring the hands down. Now you might be staying quite upright if you're tighter through this part of the body. Let's all use an additional breath wherever we are to inhale, create some space, lift up the head a little, almost a half lift with the chest. And then as you exhale, keep that length as you fold. Can rest the arms wherever it feels natural. Maybe you even like to bring them to the insides of the ankles or the feet, and then feel as if you're pushing toes away from you, almost rotating the inner thighs to face up towards the sky. We'll take one more breath. And then inhale to pull yourself all the way back up. And this time we're going to bend through your left knee. I'm mirroring you this time. Bring the sole of the foot to plant into the earth, and then grab hold of the left ankle with the right hand. We're taking a side bend over towards the right hand side. Now the head, or the palm even I should say, can come to the back of your head. Spin the chest up if you've got the space. Maybe you reach over for that right foot with the left fingertips. Keep feeling like you're rotating the chest up, so you feel this space created through the left side body. You send that right knee away from you, just a smidge if you notice it's collapsing in. Take one more breath. And then we'll peel ourselves all the way back up. Swap legs, this time bending up through the right, grabbing hold of the ankle with the left hand. And then we're letting the body drape over the left leg. Remember, the palm can be to the back of the head, or maybe it reaches towards the foot. Push that right knee away from you if you notice it's collapsing in. Take one more breath. Nice, then let's inhale, take the body all the way back up, beautiful. And this time, we're gonna bring the feet to touch. Make a diamond shape with the legs, and we're gonna come to find a butterfly. Now we'll do this with a rounded spine, so you can send the heels a little bit further away from your hips and then start letting the upper body be heavy. Let it melt over the shins. The arms rest somewhere natural, maybe the forearms are threaded underneath your shins with the palms facing up. Or there could be a prop to support underneath your forehead if you like. And that breath keeps rolling through your body, removing the energy around. Feeling through the body to feel into the heart and the soul. We'll take another slow breath here. And then slowly peeling the chest up. If it feels okay for you, you can keep the legs in this shape as you recline. Bring the spine down to the mat. Coming to find Supta Baddha Konasana. Be here for a few breaths. If you need some support underneath the thighs, let that be a couple of bricks or both fists, so that the legs have something to rest against. gather the knees back in towards each other. Let them be long before we take our Savasana. Take a Bananasana on each side. So stretching out through the arms and the legs. Let's use an in-breath. So let the hands travel further away from you, the feet to point. And then we'll walk the hands and the feet over towards the left-hand side of the mat. You can pick up the head and shift it slightly, but keep the hips and the torso where they are. If you want a little more, grab hold of the right wrist with the left fingertips and cross the left ankle over the right, so you're pinning that right leg in place. Sending the breath through the right side flank. Another breath. And then unraveling the hands and the feet through center and all the way over to the opposite side. This time hold on to left fingertips or left wrist even with right fingertips and cross the right ankle over your left. And then we'll return to center. Letting any engagement through the limbs go and come to set up for a final little rest. Savasana. The limbs be heavy. Pick up space. Let them be nice and wide. Tuck shoulder blades underneath you. A big breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Now the body is soft. The breath is soft too, free of any control. And we also give the mind a break here, these next few minutes. No analysis, narratives, worries, overthinking. This is an invitation for you to simply be, nothing more. Now we can begin to deepen your breath. Noticing your surroundings again, sights, sounds, feeling. Moving the body when you're ready in a way that feels natural. Eventually making our way up, and we come to meet in a seated position of your choice. Let's bring the hands to prayer at heart center. Take a moment for a little bit of gratitude for yourself for putting this video on and making the time to move your body. And then we'll bring the prayer up to your third eye center. Bow down to close this little practice. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you want more, there's a few more videos on my channel, and any questions or you want to chat, don't be shy, reach out. Bye.